Hola, muy buenas, bienvenidos a la primera entrevista de la temporada del Movidas y al primer vídeo que hemos creado esta temporada a propósito en YouTube. Ya sabéis que durante toda la temporada vamos haciendo los podcasts, vamos haciendo todos los contenidos que van a Spotify, hacemos los directos en Twitch, pero a YouTube mandamos directamente las entrevistas. ¿Por qué? Porque da la casualidad de que normalmente estamos trayendo a gente de otros países y hay una cosa que se llama subtítulos, que en Spotify la verdad complicado, y en Twitch también muy complicado. Y la verdad es que hoy tenemos una primera invitada que tanto a Luis, que está conmigo. Hola, Luis. Hola. Y hola, saludos.
¿Qué tal, chicos? ¿Qué tal?
Como a mí nos apetece.
Hola.
Hola. Nos apetece mucho hablar con ella porque ha sido un poco la primera sorpresa que nos hemos dado del Eesti Laul 2022. Yo ya la verdad es que, a ver, teniendo en cuenta que por fin tenemos una preselección desde el principio de la temporada con chorrocientas canciones, escuchar la primera y que ya hubiera en el primer cuarto de final una canción con frases en español, la verdad es que ya era sorprendente. Maian, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás?
Hola, muy bien.
Además, con la curiosidad de que ella está participando en el Eesti Laul, pero ella vive en Barcelona.
Sí, estoy viviendo en Barcelona y me gusta, pero Estonia es mi casa, mi hogar, pero me gusta Barcelona, me encanta vivir aquí.
La primera pregunta es obligatoria. ¿Cómo acaba una chica de Estonia en Barcelona?
Es una mezcla de cosas diferentes. I think I was very lucky. I just found a very good home. Me encanta mi casa y toda. Estoy viviendo en el centro de Barcelona. Es muy, muy guay. Y no sé, todas las cosas están... He llamado a mi mami y... Hola, estoy moviendo a Barcelona. Y mi mamá es... Vale, ok.
Y la cuestión es que, claro, llama mucho la atención porque si uno lee la letra de la canción, porque, a ver, tenemos que decirte que nuestro mejor amigo en el Movidas es Google y la Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Porque,
muy amigos.
Porque nosotros metemos la letra de la canción en Google Translator, ponemos la opción de estonio a español, y entre las partes en estonio y las partes en castellano, la canción parece dedicada a la ciudad de Barcelona.
Sí, esta canción es como un... I don't even know how you call it, like... I'm looking up to Barcelona. Y es... Yo estaba agradecida. Sí, a Barcelona, porque eso es, para mí es un lugar que yo puedo encontrar myself. ¿Cómo es myself?
A mí mismo.
A mí mismo.
Sí, vale. Y todos los lugares y edificios y arte, historia, comida, maravilloso. Y yo quiero ser aquí en el momento. No sé si voy a ser aquí en 6 meses, pero ahora es mejor para mí. Y esta canción es para Barcelona.
Sí, de hecho habla hasta del Rodalíes.
Sí, eso es... vale, es como Rodalíes. En Estonia tengo el mismo. Normal, todos los países tengo el mismo. Pero es en la canción, dice que east of Rodalíes, and I just thought it was clever to put it like the Spanish word, but then in the video I show like for Estonians that what is Rodalíes, because at first when I sent the song to my label they were like, what is this Rodalíes? And I was like, it's like the train thing, it's the train, we try ride. And then I just thought it would be nice to say that like everything that's east of Rodalíes, So basically all of Europe. I'm kind of leaving besides for a moment.
I'm in the same situation like you, Maian, because I moved to Barcelona 4 years ago to work from the southern part of Spain, from Seville, and I felt a little bit. It was a little bit difficult the beginnings, and I want to ask you about your beginnings here in Barcelona and how was your first days here in Catalonia?
The beginning, it was great because when I came here in the summer, I thought I was only traveling. So I decided to stay here a few days before I flew back to Estonia, and I rented my place and all this. But getting NIE, Seguridad Social, that was crazy. Because obviously if you're from Spain, you're kind of born with them, you know, like you get them when you're born. But coming even from Europe, it's very hard, especially because there's no times, you know, the cita previas, there were none. There were none. And I was like, I need my NIE to pay the bills. Iberdrola, all those need my NIE, which I didn't have. And I spent a good amount crying in the police stations. And I didn't speak Spanish that well then. Well, I don't speak it well, but you know, I get by now.
You try. Yeah, that's now, the same thing.
Now when I go to the police station, I can do it. And well, usually I don't have to be on camera, so it's a bit easier. But I spent a good amount of hours just crying in the police stations, like, give me the NIE. I want the NIE. What do I have to do for the NIE?
Have you already got your clave pin?
It's like the online access of our DNI and never works. Here in Spain, those things never works. So
I don't want to make your life a little more difficult, but at some point, somebody will ask you to have your clave pin. And that day, I will send you my best regards, and I will wish you a lot of luck. Because that's the most difficult part of the Spanish system. I don't want to give you a stroke. But
even getting my tarjeta de cat salud, I was like, okay. What if he? But you kind of go everywhere, just like, please, today is the day.
But my beginnings in Barcelona were also difficult because I was living in Barcelona. For everybody that doesn't know that, I also lived in Barcelona, and I also had to go to the police a few times because, I lost a lot of money because some motherfucker who stole money. And I also have the same problem. Not that I'm not Spanish, because I'm from Spain, but I barely speak well Spanish. So they didn't understand me neither. Going to the Eesti Laul 2022, because you already participated in 2017?
Yes, 2017. Era locura. It was crazy because I was very young. I was 16 when this whole thing started. And that was my first big stage. And that was also when I got signed with Universal. So I got signed with Universal before I even released my first song. So it was really crazy and hectic, and going, you know, from performing sometimes at school to doing the biggest stage in Estonia. And it is a big stage, even worldwide thinking, you know, it's a big stage where to go. And there's hundreds of thousands of people watching you on TV as well. It's crazy. But it was fun, and it got my start, and I'm very grateful for the people with who I did the song and everything. It was just a crazy ride. And I think I needed a break to kind of grow up. I was a baby, and I'm still a baby. I'm 21. So I'm still very young, and I very much feel like sometimes I'm not ready for things. But now when I wrote this song in Spanish and Estonian, and my label was like, you know what, let's send it. I was like, okay, I think I'm ready. And especially because I'm away in Barcelona, then it's easier for me. You know, I don't really have to be in it all the time. Now when the semis come, yes, but I can also fly back here to my home. And, you know, if things go not the way that I want them to go, then I can still enjoy everything that's here. And if they go great, then it's even better. I can do, you know, mix this with Spain. And I'm also very grateful that I get to, you know, share my music in 2 languages. So I have 2 different outputs and I have different people listening to it. It's not just the Estonian audience anymore. It's also Spanish, and I get a lot of messages from Spain, and it's like, I love that I get to mix it and share it with more people.
And I have read a recent interview with you that you talk like the quarterfinal of Eesti Laul you have seen alone at home. And I suppose it could be like that meme of Joey or friends looking the TV and saying, it's me. And tell me a little bit about your feelings when you heard like you are into the semifinals of the Eesti Laul.
I cried. I'm a big crier as well. I'm very emotional, and mostly when I am emotional, even if it's from happiness, I cry. And the first person to call me was my best friend and my mom, and everyone was like crying too. And I was just like, oh my God, like it's crazy, because the competition definitely is strong, and because there's so many songs this year, so it's 40 songs in the quarterfinals. Then I was like, you know, I might not get through. And I didn't really set my mind to it. And I didn't even have any plans, because I was like, if I'm not going to get through, I just want to go to sleep, you know. But then I got through and I was like, wait, what do I do? So I just cried a bit. And then I met another Estonian girl that lives here. So I was like, let's do this Estonian thing, like be Estonians in Barcelona. And no, it's great. And it's a good honor. I'm very happy to go on real stage now, not, you know, do it with videos and dress up and sing and do all this kind of fun stuff.
And I suppose you have to come back to Estonia to the semifinal.
Yes, I'm gonna fly a lot.
Tell me a little bit of exclusive information about your plan for this staging appearance of TV.
I don't think I'm allowed to talk about it yet, and I don't want to be disqualified. So I'm not going to talk about it, but I'm going to say this much, that I'm going to mix Spanish Spanish culture and Estonian culture as I do in the song. I'm going to do that on stage as well, as much as I possibly can.
Mm-hmm. The only advice we can give to you is don't try to mix anything into the paella, because when we see things like chorizo in the paella...
Remove the chorizo. We don't negotiate with terrorists. First warning.
People go crazy on the internet. So
yeah.
We will advise...
And flamenco dancers... No. Flamenco dancers also no, because it's so difficult to get that. So yes, that's an advice for me.
No, flamenco no, paella con chorizo no.
Now we are advising an Estonian participant in the Eesti Laul. Now we can put it into our resumes. Like, we are advisors for Maian in the Eesti Laul.
So you are the stage choreographers for Eesti Laul.
Well, I couldn't be because recently we went to a trip into Madrid. And we shared one house, and I was dancing like flamenco, like a little meme. And this guy under myself in the video,
not a little meme,
he
more
recorded
than
me. He recorded me making a gif. I'm not good looking doing flamenco.
That's not a great staging. So
no, but that's what I do. I kind of learned a bit flamenco online, and then when I go to clubs and reggaeton is playing, then I do flamenco, and I'm like, why do you do that? And it doesn't look good.
But Rosalia does that a lot in the music now.
Pero yo no estoy como Rosalía. I look like a weird Estonian girl trying to do flamenco.
I want to ask you about the process of doing music in a pandemic times here in Spain, because I suppose it could be a little bit difficult, no?
Yeah, well, it all depends. Like for me, mostly I think on the traveling thing, and I could also do my home studio if I put my mic up and stuff. And because I work with my producer 101 lately, then we can do it on Zoom, and it's like easily manageable. But it's also because I'm a resident in Spain, but I'm a citizen of Estonia. then I can fly between if I need to. And because I'm vaccinated and everything, then I think it's going to be fine if I need to do something. But because I have all my papers, all my documents, I've thought it through, then I think I'll be okay. And worst case scenario, I'll build a studio at home and I won't go to my good fancy studio that I love. I'll do this home setting and make it, accustomed to COVID.
The perception I will say to you is you have a lot of different songs, sometimes a lot avant-garde songs that really push the boundaries of music, but finally the decision among the public is like they tend to choose the more stereotypical of the typical one. And how is the perception of the Eesti Laul amongst the Estonian audience?
Well, I think as in, if you mean like stereotypical, it's, for us, it's the biggest stars, and it's the same, here, if, maybe there was, for example, Rosalía and someone unknown would go, and maybe someone unknown would even have a better song or more interesting. Rosalía is going to win, and it's the same. And, I think there are never that song has won, but it's still, there definitely are some entry artists who are there. It's their first stage, like when I was 16, but it's hard to compete against people who have, 50, 60, maybe 100 times more fans than you do. It's just not, it's impossible. So I think that's why this perception comes, but it's because these artists for you guys are unknown. You don't know who's the biggest artist, but for us, it's really logical why these entries get chosen, because they're the biggest artists in Estonia. But for you, I get how it for other people from other countries, it would seem like, oh, why did this song come or go? But it's because some names are bigger, and also I think the taste in music varies a lot. Obviously, Spanish music, like what you play on radios in Spain and what they play on radios, except for, the worldwide, like Dua Lipa and stuff, is different. It's very different. So I think it's just that.
Mm-hmm. I was more towards the thing that, for example, Winnie Pooh, they entered a few years ago, and they were really popular amongst the fans. And I don't remember exactly who won that year, but the thing that you don't tend to choose the risky one.
Definitely. But I think, for Eurovision, and not many people want to take the risks. And we've had our risk entries. We've had the, I don't know if you remember this, but we had this crazy radio.
Fine. Yeah. That's a freaky entry, but I love it.
But that's the thing, and it did well. As in, it was fun, and it kind of showed people that we're fun. But I think for Eurovision, it's better or easier to go with a song that's staple. It's how Eurovision songs are usually sounding like. Mm-hmm. Because that's, who usually win, where you can see that Sweden has a very strong theme and they have also won a lot, So I think no one really wants to risk with Eurovision because it's a really big, I don't even know what's the word, it's like a lot of pressure. Yeah. Mm. So I think it's that. But, I always vote for my favorite. And I don't know, this year, I can't vote for myself, by the way, because I'm in Spain. and I just, when everyone was voting, then I was like, I can't even do that right now. When you sit in the green room and you're like, wait, I'm going to call myself.
It's your time, because Spanish fandom is one of the biggest Eurovision fandom in the world, and they are really encouraged. They vote a lot. They want a lot of VPN. They do whatever they want. So
somos pesadísimos, somos horrorosos, somos mira, la palabra de este año, y si no conoces la palabra, te llevas una palabra de esta entrevista, es turra, que es que somos unos turra, que significa pesado en andaluz. En Andalucía decimos turra.
Turra.
Si alguien, if somebody is really stressing you out, you have to say to him, you are a turra.
Wow.
Yeah, and this year is fun because the final of Eesti Laul will be broadcast here in Spain.
Oh, really?
And in
there's-
Spanish.
There's a channel 10 who will broadcast in our TDT the final. So
I
it
have
could-
to get to the finals then.
Yeah, you could. I suppose you don't want to see it by television, but at the end, it could be broadcast in here in Spain. So it's a very important year for us, and we are watching a lot of Estonian music for that reason.
Really cool. I didn't know that. That's very fun.
Because you said I wasn't able to vote for myself in the semifinal, but have you realized that there are only 3 songs from Eesti Laul in the top 50 on Spotify in Estonia right now?
räägi, mis nüüd saab, need tunded segitas, kuigi see polnud algusplaan.
Yes.
Andrei Sevakin featuring Grete Paya and
Marlan.
Marlan.
yeah.
Yeah, she's one of my best friends, by the way.
Really? Yeah.
So she's one of my best friends. So it's really fun.
Yeah, and you are the third one. You are also in that
Yes.
top 50 in Estonia. How
Yeah,
did
and
you
I
see
was
that?
number 1 till the other entries came in. No, but it's cool because, you know, my semis was almost 2 weeks ago and I'm still there, which is amazing. I'm so excited about it. I'm so happy. And it's, honestly, I didn't think this song was going to do that well. And it's doing very well for me. So it's nice. And we'll see how it goes. I have no expectations because if you keep them low, you're not going to disappoint yourself. So
I feel like the same like you when I came from Andalusia to here, and I want to ask you, how do you deal with Catalan?
well, I do. You know, if Catalans say some, you know, daily stuff, then now I can understand it. Because in Spanish, I understand pretty much everything now. It's just replying is like, whoa. Like sometimes it's fine, sometimes it's not. But with Catalan, I can read it nicely because, you know, the written bit is not that different. And hearing, it's just I've gotten used to some words, you know, like, do you want to sit in or out? Or, you know, like these kinds they're simple and you get used to them. And I've Googled some, but I don't speak it. And I can have a conversation in it. And, you know, but I think it's cool. And I also, especially I think when you're not from Spain, then Catalans are very eager to talk to you in Spanish. They're very excited that you're here.
So I wanna give you a gift. That's a phrase that I use properly every time about Catalan.
Okay.
And it's siempre yo, español, ahora español.
But
Siempre digo que me da vergüenza hablarlo. I feel shy speaking Catalan.
Oh, okay.
So I'd never talk. So I always say, ho puc parlar perfectament, I can speak properly, però encara em fa vergonya. But I feel a little bit shy yet.
Mhm.
So with this phrase, you could do whatever you want. You really need to speak Catalan in your life. So that's my gift for you.
Thank you. Thank you. I just usually go with this like, wait, I don't even know Spanish.
Yeah, that's the same, but in Catalan, and it's great.
Yeah.
It's so useful.
Yes. Okay, I have to study that then. And every
only
time
a
I go, I'm
phrase.
like,
It's only a sentence.
Yeah,
I think you
it's-
can do it.
It's like to learn a language with only one phrase. It's so useful.
okay, I'll do that then. And then I'm set. I'm fine.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can stay here and not speak it. But no, I do want to study Catalan because I think it's cool and interesting. But I have to sort my Spanish out before, and then we'll go to Catalan. That's the next step.
You are living in Barcelona. Probably this interview is gonna be seen by some people from Estonia. We may guess so. That's why we are putting the subtitles here, so you can
Yes.
you can follow us in the conversation in the little parts of Spanish that we had. You have to give advice to the people from Estonia that will come to Barcelona at some times. What's your top 3 places from Barcelona?
I would go to the new Moco Museum, which is the modern art that is dope. Then La Paradeta for food. And then I would go when there are jam sessions from the music school. And oftentimes they're at Plaza Real. Or then they're also next to the Ajuntament de Barcelona. I would go to those.
And
So these 3 things.
And if you want to go clubbing, where did you go?
Razzmatazz.
Yeah, for sure. The real one, the only one.
But
I completely
Razzmatazz
agree.
is very busy, so if you're not big on the busy ones, then don't go to Razzmatazz. Because Estonians don't like crowds. And when I went to Razzmatazz the first time, then I was like, okay, there's a lot of people, it's very busy, it's very hectic, but it's the best.
Yeah, but you have to book with a lot of time nowadays. So it's
Yeah,
difficult to,
all of them
to
are
get
sold
tickets.
out. But you can get, after sale tickets sometimes.
So, Maian, thank you so much for being in Euromovidas. It was a pleasure. And what best way to start the interview national finals time this year?
What's the best time? Or
No?
what?
I say the phrase so bad.
That's so a lot of time speaking English, you speak Spanish. That's an encore situation. We know.
Yeah. Let me restart. Maya. No, esto no me puede estar pasando en una entrevista. Esto no me está pasando. No.
Vale, okay.
Train actor. Maya, muchísimas gracias por haber venido a Euromovidas. Ha sido un placer estrenar la temporada de entrevistas de preselecciones contigo.
Gracias, era maravilloso. Gracias por todo.